Welcome back. You'd be hard-pressed to find a part of everyday life that COVID-19 hasn't impacted, and that includes our sleep. Fox 44's Brian Glenn spoke to an expert about how sleep disruption could also impact your marriage.
We have seen several things come out of COVID-19, such as masks, social distancing. We've also seen divorces. Joining me now is Jennifer Hargrave. She is a divorce attorney, and she's here to talk about what is called divorce sleep. I hope I got that right.
Right. So we refer to it as a sleep divorce.
Sleep divorce. There you go.
Really a compassionate way to keep from getting an actual divorce. You're recognizing that you have different sleep patterns, and a healthy way to address those different sleep patterns is to actually sleep in separate rooms so you can get a good night's sleep.
Okay, I'm going to raise my hand right now because I am so guilty of this, but only really for a couple reasons, because I like it, dark, quiet, and cold. And normally that's not the room I normally sleep in, so I go elsewhere. But you've seen a rise in divorces since we've been really forced to spend so much time together.
Yes, we certainly are seeing an increase in divorce right now. I think people are irritated with each other, they're frustrated, the routines are off, and divorce just seems like a decent way to move on with your life.
So you've got couples that are shifting their sleep patterns. Now, what is that doing to their actual relationship as far as staying, I guess, somewhat bonded?
Well, it depends. I mean, certainly you can handle this in a really compassionate way that helps build connection with your partner. And in that case, this can be a great solution if you're driving each other crazy at night. But also, I think it can also be handled in a way that can be really hurtful and feel like rejection. So if you feel like you need to be sleeping in a separate room, I would strongly urge that you have a compassionate conversation with your spouse.
Do you think this is initiated by both spouses or one over the other?
It seems like there's usually one who's a little more irritated. For some reason, opposites attract, right? So you have a light sleeper and a heavy sleeper, a cold sleeper and a hot sleeper, and a morning person and a night person. So yeah, I think one person usually is a little more sensitive to sleep disturbances.
Do we have any kind of estimate numbers of how many people go through this? I mean, stats, what does that show? I mean, is it like 1 in 5 or 4 in 5?
I think we have 2 out of 2 right here in this room,
we
right?
do.
So my guess is that it probably is something that occurs in a lot of marriages. We just don't talk about it. It's embarrassing to say that my spouse and I sleep in separate rooms. It's just not the norm.
Yeah, but it also goes back to, I don't require a lot of sleep, and I've always been randomly waking up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. So I don't want to disrupt everyone else in the house. So that's the reason why it works for me. So I actually use it as a tool to perhaps stay married. Because the world is crazy, and if I didn't do that, I would probably be on the street somewhere.
And that's exactly the point, is that sleeping in separate rooms can be one of the most compassionate things you can do for your spouse. And I think if you approach it in a constructive way, it can actually help your marriage.
All right, as we wrap it up, how many hours a night do you get sleep?
I like a good 8 hours of sleep.
Oh, God bless you. I'm lucky to get 4 or 5. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Absolutely.